Welcome back to the nationally syndicated Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Anyone who's a long-term listener of the program knows my interest in lithium. I talk about it a lot. I think it's one of the most important resources in the economy. It's one of the hottest long-term buys when it comes to investing, in my opinion. And so I like to talk to smart people who can talk about this topic. And today is no exception. We've got a great topic here lined up for you. We're going to be talking to Graham Harris. We're going to talk about Made in America. Lithium prospects grow as China's lithium supply bubble bursts, which means you really need to be thinking about, where they're going to be going in the future to continue to build this. And so he's with a company called Surge Battery Metals, and glad to have you on the program. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your company, and welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I happen to agree with just about everything you said there on the importance of lithium. My background, I just previously spent the last 7 years, I was the founder and chairman of a company called Millennial Lithium. We had a project in Argentina. Early last year, there was a bidding war for the company, three different companies. As funny enough, two of them were Chinese, CATL and Ganfeng. And then eventually Lithium Americas came over the top and outbid them both and ended up securing that asset. We sold it for $500 million in the spring of last year. And now I'm on to the next venture, which is Surge Battery Metals. It's a project that caught my attention. It's based in Nevada. I love the jurisdiction. And we're just in the process of developing the resource, early stage drilling, and I'd be happy to tell you more about that project.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to chat about today. It's a very exciting space. Lithium is incredibly exciting. And there's a lot of, we talk about power grid problems. We talk about the prospect of moving entirely towards EV. All of that, the whole EV phenomenon is just phenomenal as long as you can power it, right? And lithium is centerpiece of that, and your project is obviously a piece in that puzzle.
Yeah, recognizing that, I mean, EV it's here to stay. It's part of the the new revolution in green energy. And in order to have electric, we need it's lithium ion is the commercial product that everybody's using nowadays, and to power that you need lithium. And so, out there's a number of lithium countries, and China has done a heck of a job in securing deals with a lot of these lithium companies in, Africa and South America and Australia and Canada. And what we need here in America is we need a domestic source of lithium, and we need domestic battery supply. And what's interesting is when I noticed, when I came across Surge Battery Metals, they had a very interesting lithium project. Matter of fact, it was so interesting, I thought it couldn't be real. The numbers were phenomenal in terms of grade. I had my lithium team, who I brought along from Millennial Lithium, have a look at it, and sure enough, it's amazing that everything that we thought would be there is there, and it's right there in Nevada in the US of A. So we're busy right now growing this resource, and hopefully, developing this into a significant domestic supply of lithium to, help out the domestic battery producers.
Yes. Talk a little bit about where you are in the process of exploiting this, taking advantage of this, and how much knowledge or information do you have in terms of how substantial of a resource is going to be long-term wise?
Yeah, when I got involved, it was early stage drilling. After selling Millennial Lithium, I was inundated with, projects, people wanting, our team to get involved in it. This one stood out above the rest. The early stage results from their first 7-hole drill program were, like I said, exceptional, almost too good to be true. Brought my lithium team in, did a deep analysis on the project, and it stood out above all others. So what we did this year, I joined the board in early of March of this year, became chairman in June, so it's very early stages. We've just completed geophysics, and we're just in the process of completing our second round of drilling. We hope to announce results relatively soon, and then the first step in the development of this project will be a maiden resource, which we hope to publish by November. And I think that's going to really open a lot of people's eyes as to how big and how good this project is.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like it. And yet early. Kind of give us a projected timeline of what you see happening when.
Okay, we're going to complete the drilling this year. We're operating under notice of intent. That's how we, the first stage of development in Nevada. The next stage will be to do file for a plan of operation, and that will allow us to do much further drilling and to create a much more than a maiden resource. It'll be a 43-101 compliant resource, and then we will do a preliminary economic assessment. And that should be completed, the plan of operation, probably by the end of 2024, and then the preliminary economic assessment, hopefully in the spring of 25.
Now, if people want to invest in it, I know you're on the stock exchange. Which exchange are you on?
Right now, we're listed on the TSX Venture, symbol is NILI, and on the OTC NILIF is the symbol.
Yeah, and talk about from an investment perspective. Talk to an investor, if you will.
Yeah, I appreciate that because I am an investor. I mean, I came and when I looked at this company, I invested in this company. That's how I bought my position in the company. So I invested in this company. I looked at it. When I got involved, it had about a 20 million market cap. I thought, okay, where can this grow to? When we did an assessment of what we thought the potential resource could be, I knew that the market cap would grow to multiples of where it was at the time. We currently have around a $60 million market cap. And in terms of what we think this resource is worth, I mean, I sold my last company for $500 million. I think this resource and asset is better. So having said that, it's up to us to, flush out the economics and flush out the resource and prove it up and de-risk it. And I think over time, this asset could grow to, a substantial multiple of where it is today.
Yeah, and I'm assuming, it's really quite a sweet spot, that being Nevada, for something like this, because so many of the players in the lithium space are in even openly hostile to the United States countries. We have so weaponized economic activity. I think it's imperative, especially for something like this, to gravitate to a friendly territory. And for the U.S., you can't get much more friendly than Nevada.
Yeah, that's a great point, and it's on multiple levels. I mean, fortunately, we exited Argentina at the right time. I mean, after we exited, you had Chile nationalize lithium. I mean, there's countries that can nationalize the products, and that makes it very difficult for the investor to get their money out. The way it's happening right now, it's almost like China is the new OPEC. China is the OPEC of lithium, where they're going to control the source and supply of lithium, and people will be held hostage, much like we were back in the oil embargo days. So we can't have that. We need to develop a domestic source of lithium. And, fortunately, we're in Nevada. It's very friendly. The administration right now, once we get to, bankable feasibility, money is there, government loans to develop this asset. So we're not worried at the end of the day in terms of, accessing the capital to develop the project. At this stage, it's really about advancing it to that point. And that's what we're doing. And you make a great point. We need these assets, we need these resources, and we need them in America.
Yeah, for national security as well as economic reasons. And by the way, Chile's a fascinating example when you think about it, because people go, oh, Chile, that's just your typical third world Latin American country. No, actually, until the last few years, for a couple of decades, Chile has been one of the most economically free, best property right countries in the entire Western Hemisphere. It was U.S., Canada, and Chile in that order for decades. How quickly things can change in unstable political environments. And in spite of all the progress Chile made, they've recently made strides in the wrong direction. And that's why, again, focusing domestically is so important.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. I mean, do you want to be held hostage to the whims of foreign policy and foreign government? No, you don't. And, we also don't want to be held hostage to somebody who's secured all the lithium assets and lithium supply chains across the globe. We need to develop our own resource and our own battery manufacturing capabilities if we wish to continue, driving electric vehicles. And it's not just electric vehicles. I mean, everything, these days, pick up a power tool. Everything is driven by these little batteries that are just all lithium-ion batteries. And, it's not, people always say, too, what happens if there's a new technology? And, I'm not too worried about a new technology because since I've been in this space, all the advances in battery manufacturing and being able to drive your car further are a resultant of these batteries consuming more lithium. And that makes lithium even more key to this whole equation.
Yeah, and also, with most of the modern countries, advanced countries are trying to abandon fossil fuels as quickly as humanly possible. Even as we develop new technologies, lithium's going to be a player as long as it's available.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's talk of, Toyota developing this solid-state battery now that will allow, twice the range in terms of the battery. Well, that's great because the solid-state battery consumes 4 times as much lithium. I mean, it's just the product of lithium. It sits on that periodic table on the far left. It is a great store of energy, and that's what makes it so valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have to wrap it up. Really enjoyed this conversation. I kind of geeked out. Do want to mention to the listener, I have no investment in this particular company. I do have interest in lithium in general. I consider myself an ambassador for this concept for national security, environmental, and economic reasons. And so to me, lithium plays make perfect sense. So not as familiar as I want to be. I hope to become more familiar with this company. Graham, thanks so much for being with us.
Well, thank you very much for having me and let me introduce our company to your audience. Really appreciate it, and I hope they follow along in our growth.
Yeah. Graham, final thoughts on our topic as we wrap it up, and give your website as well.
The website, surgebatterymetals.com. Please follow us. We have a great team, very experienced lithium team, and we're here developing a very big lithium asset right here in good old Nevada, United States of America.
I am Kevin Price. This is the nationally syndicated Price of Business show, plus we are on every major streaming platform as far as podcasting goes. Check us all out at priceofbusiness.com.